Guys, I'm Robert Ham with RobertHamPhotography.com. Today, I'm going to answer a real personal question. Why I shoot Fujifilm. I want to take a special moment to thank my supporters over on Patreon. You guys help make this happen. And here on YouTube, I need your help, big time. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, let me know. 2 thumbs down makes me happy. I came by Fujifilm, not by mistake, but not by purpose either. When I started photographing, I photographed originally on film with a Canon T70. That's what I photographed with. And so I cut my teeth on black and white slide film, or just black and white film, I should say, not slide film. So my tangent is I grew up on black and white film in the photography darkroom at my local high school. That's where I got started. In fact, I recently found some pictures that was my dad's stuff. He passed away a while ago, and I found some old photos when I was like 11 and 12 years old, and I had a Minolta AF 7000 on my neck, you know. And so here's an 11-year-old kid running around with that camera. Now, it wasn't mine, it was my uncle's, but that was a camera I was used to shooting. But yesterday, and I was asked a question. I saw the X100F, I got to play with it in person, and I was going to buy it, but they didn't have any in stock. So, too bad. But when I picked up the X100F, the camera manager at the Best Buy asked me what did I think. And I said, this can replace my kit. I said, it's a crazy thought, but this can do it. But he looked at me like I was crazy. And I think most people would. You know, I think that's what comes down to it. What would you feel comfortable shooting with? You know, when you talk about a beautiful prime 35mm lens, when you talk about a camera system, you start talking about specs, right? And that gets away from what photography really is. Photography is a chronicle of history, yours, through your lens. And that actually should have an emotion attached to it. And if it doesn't, you might be doing something wrong. But I'm still on the journey of why Fuji. And you see, that was the question that my friend asked me. He said, why Fuji? And it was so easy to say. And it came out right off the tongue, and then I realized that's what it is. Fuji helps me create magic. Period. That doesn't mean that Canon can't help you create magic. That's fine. Canon does not help me create magic, guys. Let me explain something to you. I found out that the reason I like Fuji is because I like this Olympus 35RD. This camera is excellent. You got your shutter, your aperture on your lens. It's even got a little automatic mode with great selenium cell metering. Takes a little battery. Fully mechanical camera though. No battery required to go out and shoot Sony 16 all day long. And that's how I prefer to shoot. I had forgotten that for so long, even shooting Fuji. I had forgotten how much I loved film. I'd forgotten that I used to shoot film, that I used to develop roll after roll in the darkroom for 4 years straight. I forgot that even after that, even when I first entered into the Army and everything, I was still shooting film, guys, on that T70, man. It's right here. Poor little T70. It doesn't work anymore. The port's broken. I could fix it. But you get what I'm saying. When I was shooting digital, it had been so long since I'd shot film, and we're talking 6 years of doing this professionally now, I had forgotten all about film because I was so wound up with never going back to film. Because cameras like this, the X100S, remind me so much of this, the RD. Because of how they operate. They're so very, very similar. And that's important because Fuji's whole design philosophy is an aesthetic philosophy. Fuji gets into what photography is. It's making magic through the lens in a very minimalistic, unintrusive way. Set your aperture, set your shutter speed, and go. In fact, cameras like this, the X100S, with the viewfinder, the hybrid, the digital rangefinder. It's not a real rangefinder, I know, but it's very similar. With the idea that there's some parallax correction that has to take place, and with the ability to set your aperture through dials, it puts a very tactile message to your photography, and it gives a new photographer a great way to practice digital photography and analog photography at the same time through the reciprocity of f-stops, apertures, and ISOs. Because that standard has stayed the same from digital through film, or through film to digital, you can go out there and you can work on a camera like this and then pick up a camera like this, and it makes sense. Because at some point in time, you will have trained your eye enough here without having to spend lots of money on film, right? To where it works in film. But for me, it was kind of like a renaissance about 1.5 years ago when I started shooting film again. When I did, I didn't realize how much the X-T1 really reminded me of this, the Black Beauty, the Canon EF. Once again, shutter speed, aperture, film speed, it's all on the dial. It's all right there. So the number one thing that Fuji did when they decided to create their X cameras was they decided to put a focus on the aesthetic of photography. And that is the feeling of photography. And they nailed it. So why do I shoot Fuji? I shoot Fuji because I create magic with it. Because I started shooting film so many years ago, loading film when I was 5, 6, and 7, ruining film, not even realizing what I was doing. And 25 years later, Fuji rediscovered that magic, that light inside of me with their cameras, right? That brought me full circle back to film. My photography is going through a transcendence right now. I shoot hybrid, and I don't mean hybrid as far as like mirrorless. I mean hybrid as far as film and digital at weddings. Digital's great because it's economical, it's easy to shoot, it's easy to process very quickly. But my portraits are beautiful. My film portraits are gorgeous as well, right? And I've been able to build a lot of confidence in my own photography through the use of cameras that feel the same when switching from a digital camera like the X-T1 or the X Pro 1 or the X100S to something like the Olympus 35RD or the Olympus 35 DC, or even, you know, the Nikon or the Canon EF that's back there, or whatever else I want to shoot at. My beautiful Minolta X570. I love that one. So why is the question? Why shoot Fujifilm? And I think the answer is simple. Camera manufacturers out there create great cameras today. If you buy a flagship camera or a mid-range camera from any one of the brands, you won't be upset. Of course, I've got bragging rights on why I can say that I prefer Fuji over Nikon, but that doesn't mean that it's better. It means that it's a preference. So I shoot this because it's the system that helps me make magic. It really does. What I want to encourage you to do is go out there and find a system that helps you make magic. That's what you got to do. And what you'll find out is that when you stop machine gunning and stop shooting thousands of images at a wedding, and you start focusing down and drilling down on just what inspires you, you pick an aperture and you start working with that aperture, and you don't change anything else. You pick a shutter speed and you start working with that to show motion. And next thing you know, your magic will start to spark. And that's what Fujifilm helped me do. Helped me remember where my magic was. And it did that so subtly I didn't even realize it. It did that because it reintroduced what made film great. This isn't copy. This isn't simulacrum. It is not some kind of fake creation. It's dedicated and determined. It matches what worked so well so long ago, and it's a new implementation of it. It's not like there's a bunch of menus to dig around for and things to distract you. So that's what Fuji did. When we talk about, and when I say that Fuji focused on aesthetics, I'm not saying they wanted to build beautiful retro-looking cameras. Although they did, they built beautiful cameras that were functional. And it just so happens that functional cameras look the same today, right, as they did 55 years ago. It still works. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if it inspires you, then run with it. Guys, I'm Robert Ham with RobertHamPhotography.com. You can catch me over on Twitter and Instagram at RobHamPhoto. Over on my Instagram, you will find my day-to-day ramblings. You'll find what I'm doing, and you'll find all of my Instax project. I've got some great news coming with Instax. Coming up soon, next week, I'm going to bring out a new video for you about Instax, and it's going to be big. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Share with your friends and leave a comment down below. I'll catch you on the flip side. Take it easy, my friend.